What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to talk about one of the game modes here in Forza Horizon 5 and why I think it's also very important that, well, racing games also take note of this and do add more game modes into it. That is specifically going to be the hide and seek. Now, I do know there is going to be other game modes, like, for example, the Eliminator. There is going to be different PvP stuff, which I am going to touch on in a different video, but for this one, I did want to talk about the hide and seek game mode. Now, this is probably going to be the type of game mode some players are maybe going to like, and then they also may not end up liking it on top of it. And you know what? I can't really blame you. I was kind of mixed when I saw it. I was like, all right, well, you know what? Let me try it out because I was looking at Reddit and different forums and I was seeing what people were talking about. And I was like, let me just jump back in and try the game mode. Let me see how it is. And well, I was genuinely surprised with how fun it actually is. Now, it is going to be basically 5v1 if anybody is wondering about it, like for the newer players, or maybe you're wondering what this game mode actually is. Well, it is legitimately 5 seekers versus 1 person that is hiding. The job of the seekers is to seek out the person that is hiding, hide and seek. Basically get them, and then once you can actually capture them, you're going to have the bar going down on the bottom there that will go all the way up. Then you'll end up capturing them and basically winning. But if you are going to be the person that is hiding, which I think out of the amount of matches I've played, I probably did it 6 or 7 times in it. I did kind of throw a few of the matches just to get them done and stuff like that. But then the other ones I was also trying to win. You pretty much drive around for like the 3 to 4 minutes and the thing will pop up. You have to get there. And I had a few really fun matches where the other 5 like people that were trying to get me were honestly pretty dang good at driving. I was kind of messing with them using the chase breaker, which I would say a lot of people are probably going to admit that the chase breaker is a bit overpowered. I would say one way to maybe fix that is to probably lower the timer that they are slower, maybe make it like 9 seconds or something, 8 seconds even, but 15 or so seconds is honestly a pretty long time of, well, just basically sitting there. You can't move that fast. If you have a better car like the GTR or something, maybe the Lambo, you could probably move a little bit, but if you're driving like the AT37, the Toyota, then you're probably going to be sitting there waiting for that to pretty much go away, and then you can speed back up. And sometimes if they did end up getting all of you, like if all the other races are next to you, then you're pretty much going to be able to get away. One way I was finding to do this, though, is if you guys are wondering, the chase breaker is definitely going to be a tad OP, I guess, in some way. But I also feel like if you are going to be with 3 or 4 other people in there, then there's going to be a few other people. What I would do is if I was with them seeking, I would have the 2 other players with the truck or with the car that they're going after, and then I would kind of like hang back once they get hit with the thing because it would show it. I would then go after them after that and stay with them because it's like a 30 or 40-second countdown, so you can pretty much stay right with the vehicle the entire time if you're not going to be right on top of it. Now, the main reason why I did want to talk about the hide and seek game mode, though, is I have obviously been playing Motorfest now, or the Crew series, for a while. Specifically, I've pretty much been playing Motorfest for well over a year and a half, basically since it did launch, and then I was also playing something like Need for Speed Unbound, which I do admit Need for Speed Unbound had a great multiplayer aspect. The overall playlist design, there's a bunch of different races and things to do in there. Definitely was a great job, but TCM legitimately only has grand races. It is going to have the Demolition Royale, but basically nobody plays it. So the only game mode you really have there is going to be the grand races, which is obviously racing. It is kind of fun though jumping into something like Forza Horizon 5, especially as a new player, and seeing a game mode like hide and seek. Now I know this might sound kind of dumb, man, but I was really having a great time playing this. Like, it wasn't just about racing, you know what I mean? They're going to have different things in there. I'm also going to have to try the Eliminator. Heard some good things about that game mode. Do let me know your thoughts on that game mode in the comments. But I really was going into like hide and seek going, alright, well, I might like this game mode. I know it's not really about racing. You have to get the other person or you have to seek them out and stuff like that. And you know what, though? It is surprisingly entertaining. I do feel like once people start playing it more, like the first few matches, I was like, okay, I'm getting it a little bit. And then maybe around 10 or so matches in, I'm like, nah, bro, this is actually really fun. I think I played around 25 matches in a row so far, maybe something around that. I'm probably going to keep playing it, leveling up, and trying to get farther, getting more unlocks and stuff like that, like the badges and all that. But playing hide and seek, though, for a bit really made me think about how Motorfest or even other racing games really can benefit from different game modes like hide and seek, or we also have something like the capture the flag game mode I did end up playing in the playlist as well. Like, that's also going to be another thing that is going to be entertaining, not basically focused on racing, but more of like an arcade type of game mode. Everyone can jump in, have a great time and stuff. And I do feel like a lot of racing games really can benefit from something like this. We all do know a lot of racing games focus on one specific thing, right? What is that? Well, probably racing, am I right? And here's another way to look at this though. If we're going to have different arcade game modes, like for example, we're going to have hide and seek, or we have something like capture the flag, maybe tag or something like that, where there's a bunch of racers in the area, one's going to be tagged at to hit you, then they're tagged or something. That could also be another funny arcade game mode they could have in a racing game, where normally most racing games are going to again focus on racing. Maybe players might not always want to race competitively or do that kind of stuff, and having something like hide and seek in there really is going to mix it around. I think I've played hide and seek right now for maybe 2.5 hours. I am going to play it a bit more. I legit played it 2 hours straight. I was having a great time every time I was playing it. Like, sure, there's going to be some things that might get a tad frustrating once in a while. Like, for example, the biggest thing I notice is if you are going to be a seeker and then the other person's trying to, hide or something, you have to get to them. Sometimes they're going to drive the entire time. You can't really catch them, and then you end up getting close to them. They hit you with a chase breaker, and then boom, you are kind of cooked for that matter, especially if you're the only person going after them. But if you're going to have 5 people there, they're all going after, then a few of you are going to be close. The people that are hanging back won't end up getting hit by the chase breaker, and they can end up going after the hider as well. So there's different ways around it, but that is probably something a lot of people aren't going to be the biggest fan of. I would say if you're going to be driving around and stuff, it's probably going to be fairly easy to try to win it, as long as you're going to be timing the chase breakers and stuff like that and different things. And I feel like it would end up attracting a lot of people to the game mode to at least play it. On top of that, there's going to be some pretty dope rewards you can get from it, like playing streaks, getting super wheel spins from it and stuff like that, different badges. So at least the entire game mode is going to, appreciate the time you're putting into it by giving you different items for playing it. We all do know a lot of people might want to race and stuff, whether that's on TCM or something, which I am going to use Motorfest as an example here, because we all do know, again, Grand Race is going to be the only game mode on there. So if you're going to jump on there, guys, you're not going to have that many rewards or different things for playing Grand Races. Whereas if you're going to jump on here, there is going to be a bunch of different things you can get for racing, whether that's going to be car unlocks or different things you can get, whether it's badges or wheel spins, and other things on top of it you can unlock from whether it's racing, playing the Eliminator, playing hide and seek, or playing different playground type of games like that in here. Like, it really does benefit it, where a lot of players might want to be racing in something like, let's say you're playing Motorfest, maybe you're trying to get different things unlocked. The only way to do that is probably going to be Grand Races. Whereas at least if you're going to be playing something along the lines of hide and seek or other game modes, at least it is going to benefit you for different rewards, different things, and it's also going to be a nice change instead of constantly racing. For example, guys, I haven't done a grand race in TCM in probably almost a year now. I just haven't really been into it. Like, sure, don't get me wrong, the game mode might be fun. We can definitely tell Ivory Tower's putting everything into that game mode. I understand it, but they really should be mixing that up. People have been asking for PvP stuff for what now? Over a year pretty much since the game even released, like a month afterwards, and here we are basically still playing grand races. So for me, being a first time player here jumping on Forza Horizon 5, bro, I saw all these game modes. I'm like, yo, I can race this class, I can race this class, I can use B, I can use A, I can use off-road, I can use a street car. Like, bro, there's so many things you can do. And then on top of all of that, they throw in something like capture the flag, they throw in something like the Eliminator, they got hide and seek. Like, there's different things to keep you entertained, and we can definitely say the overall multiplayer system in Horizon really is going to be top notch, especially for a racing game nowadays. I would even go as far as saying for a racing game that we currently have at the moment, Forza Horizon 5 has the best multiplayer we currently have. I mean, it is going to have the most game modes, the most different ways you can play it, whether it's going to be running in all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, engine swaps, using an A-class vehicle, maybe trying a B, maybe trying an X or something like that, maybe S1, maybe S2. There's a lot of different ways to play. We even have C, and I also think D-level class as well. So maybe you want to drive a slower car, you can do that. Maybe you're like, oh, you know what? I really don't feel like racing right now. I want to go play hide and seek with my friends. Well, guess what? You can do that too. So at least there is going to be options, which for me, man, playing Forza Horizon 5, being a new player, it's easily one of the best things I've noticed about it. And I'm definitely going to be checking out the other game modes. Do stay tuned for videos on those coming in the near future. Do let me know what y'all think about the hide and seek game mode in the comments below. And also, what are your thoughts on having more PvP game modes like capture the flag that we have on here, or even something like hide and seek showing up in other racing games? So maybe that said racing game is going to have some fun arcade modes that's not always focused on racing.